Hi, this is Leah from What's New in Secondary Education, and I want to talk to you about station rotation model in the blended classroom. The blended classroom is when you integrate technology with traditional pen and paper style in your classroom. Well, I've got a pretty simple model that I like to use. It's 3, 3, and 3. That means that I use 3 stations, 3 days, 3 groups. And we do 3 stations per day. So on the first day that I introduce a unit or topic, we start with a bell ringer, and I'll introduce the concept somehow to the students very briefly within 5 minutes or so. The next thing is that I explain what each of the stations is going to be to them. One of the stations needs to have some technology component, at least if you're blending your classroom. Stations 2 and 3, technology is optional. And then this is the great part, you need some type of formative assessment at the end. And that can be an exit ticket, that can be a quiz, and you're going to use that formative assessment to regroup, flex group for the next day. Because the next day, your bell ringer is going to be some type of review over what you learned the day before. And then one of the groups is going to be teacher-led. And that group is either for enrichment for students who did well on their formative assessment, or it's going to be for remediation for students who didn't. Station 2 can be some type of technology or not. Students can do task cards or they can do some type of activity. Station 3, the same. You do need for one of those, Station 2 or 3, to be technology though. And then you're going to have another type of formative assessment, and you are going to use that formative assessment once again on day 3, the final day of the topic or unit. And you're going to have a bell ringer that day as well that's going to review a concept that they learned in their stations on the previous day. And then Station 1 is going to be teacher-led, and that will remediate or enrich and review, because you're getting ready for a test. You're getting ready for summative assessment today. So I like to lead a small group game with that first station. The second station should be some type of technology component that reviews. And the third station can be technology or not. And finally, I set this up for my class with a handout that they pick up when they come in at the beginning of the block. And I am fortunate enough to be on the block schedule, so I have plenty of time to do this. So the handout that they get is going to divide them into 3 groups, and I call the groups Group A, Group B, Group C. And I have the stations titled Stations 1, 2, and 3. Underneath each group, I list each student's name that's in that group, and then I put the station rotation order that they'll be going in and the times that they'll be spending in that station. At the bottom of that page, I put down what they're going to do in each station. And then I assign everything in Google Classroom, so they can go into the boxes in Google Classroom to actually submit these assignments to me. But I know some teachers would do this handout, something to this effect, in Google Classroom or Schoolology or whatever they decide to use. But I like for my students to have it in their hands in front of them. And finally, there's always some type of formative assessment at the very end. Thank you so much for spending these past few minutes with me. And please be sure to check out more of our great video blogs here at the Tools for Teaching Teens.